No.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 60 of The Treat Show. I'm pretty excited that we've made it to 60. Obviously, I am all over the place lately with the times of the show, and I'm late again to my late time. I'm just really sorry, guys, and I appreciate you so much for hanging in there. You are my fam, and I missed you, and I was like, I can't skip the show, but we got a little slammed. I'll tell you all about it. But I want to check in with everybody. I saw that the chat is getting going. I'm sorry, we had to finish up a few last chores this evening. All right, Guerrero Groves, it's lovely to see you. Chad Westport, Michelle, I have to tell you, thank you so much because you were a big encouragement to doing the show tonight. So thank you for your support and your little message today. You made my day and you made our show happen. Same with Kim Painter, Boomers. I have to say, we were talking yesterday, maybe Sunday, and she was telling me how much she loves everybody in the chat and that this is the show that she looks forward to see you guys. So I just want to say that you guys are awesome. Tark, I saw you in there, and I just want to shout you guys out in the fam as well. Oh, see, look at the ladies in here. That's what I'm talking about. Sorry, guys. I love you too. And speaking of that, happy Father's Day to those out there that just have endured. I can't even imagine having babies, taking care of babies, and young, old, doesn't even matter. Sorry. My poor parents, we're all like grown. And they still have to basically cook us food on their Father's Day. It's sad. Just kidding. But yes, I think Tark, happy Father's Day, disbanded. I think I am missing quite a few, but I'll remember as the show goes on. And I really hope you guys had such a nice weekend. I hope you got to do some cool stuff. We got our steak on. We seem, my whole family and Jason, we seem to be steak people, but like every event, that's what we're eating. But we also got to enjoy the brand new, well, not brand new. We got the dispensary. We got the grow this weekend, pretty fresh. Yeah, and it was like not expected, kind of. This process has been very interesting. Those that do not know or those that have been kind of following Dark Horse's stories and the podcast is, we were going through some obstacles with Denver licensing, or the city of Denver, sorry. And they were kind of holding us back. They made the process like extra long. I guess they're short staffed. That's what everybody keeps saying since COVID season, but who knows? We finally did it though. Took like almost 80 days. So it's exciting. Also, we are double stacked though. So we have the same staff and we have 2 projects now. So I want to apologize with this all being said. My clone orders were supposed to go out on Friday. I know you guys hate me. I know you hate me every time I fuck this up. And so I really do apologize. They went out today. And I will send you guys tracking numbers after the show. I'm sorry. I've literally been booming to the next. Yes. So I can't wait to show you guys pictures, but I can't show you guys pictures yet until Dark Horse shows you guys pictures first. And then we'll get wild. But I think that if you really saw what we're working with, it just blows my mind. It's so tempting. It's so hard to like, I just want to show even the trash pile. Well, we have taken, I think seven big, I think they're 20, it's a 20-foot, maybe it's a 30-foot dumpster that we have actually. We've taken, it's not that many, 5 dumpsters so far, but we've barely gotten started. And so I feel like there's a lot of trash. I've never had the experience of buying or being a part, even as a consultant or a license transfer or anything that has been nice when you get it. It's not like buying like a Gucci purse. You would think for what these people charge in these licenses and everything to participate. No, they leave everything. And so anyways, we walked into a pretty messy grow rooms that had just, fresh harvest shit everywhere. I don't know. There's like trash. So we did see that there's a nice little population of spider mites that were already on the poles without the plants in there. So it's exciting. Yes, it's dirty. There we go. So anyways, I can't wait till Dark Horse actually shows. Jason's going to show you guys the project and start kind of exposing everybody to the phases that we do. I think giving like a grand tour, which is going to be fantastic. And then I will put some cool things up on the show of showing our little transitions, because these are the things that we're talking about with insects all the time, where I'm like, okay, we're obviously going to do a lot to this building. We're painting, we're cleaning, we're doing all the things. We're taking down all the lights, like everything that you could possibly clean, we are cleaning. But there is some nice things in this facility that did come with it that I do want to talk about on the show a lot. So Trollmaster makes a great situation for, it's a controller, but it's different than most controllers because, see, this is where I should have my pictures. I'm so sorry. Just been scattering. We were supposed to have a guest Monday, and we are scheduled for next Monday. Sorry, but back to the Trollmaster. The Trollmaster controllers are expensive but amazing. I think they're expensive only because I think the unit itself, to purchase just a standard Trollmaster, that you can put 4 to 6 additional sensors on that control other things. So like your lighting, your climate, your irrigation, all of the things can happen on this one unit. And I think just the little computer board is only, I think it's like $350. I don't think it's that bad. If you step it up, they have a bigger, fancier one that almost looks like an iPad. And that one's, I think, $1,200 or $1,300. And that has the capability of you adding a lot of sensors too. I think you can do 20 or 30 on the Big Mac Daddy. So anyways, I want to take pictures and show you guys what I am talking about specifically, because these little sensors are really small. They're really easy to connect to your system, like your AC or CO2 even, your lighting. It's good for people, I think, if you're even a home grower. Well, actually, I like it better for the home grower, is in a lot of ways. It's too expensive commercially to buy this unit, I think, instead of like Rainbird, which sounds bad, or some of these other options that are just less expensive. They're not going to do the same thing, right? But it's just a lot less expensive because every room in a commercial grow needs its own Trollmaster. So you could get a little crazy with this. Or like the zoning, sometimes the rooms are too large that the Trollmaster can't hang at that smaller unit size. So you guys should check this out. My whole point. And even if you're just not like growing weed, you should check it out for other plants, like in the winter when we don't have the most ideal spaces. But the irrigation, this is the reason that I was sold on Trollmaster specifically, it is nice to have one particular unit that you can walk up to and actually just be like, okay, I need the temperature to go up a little bit today, or I need to turn my lights off really quick or dim them a little bit. Or when you flip a room and you're kind of messing with everything, either turning everything off, or when you reintroduce the plants and you've got your things dimmed down, your lights dimmed down, maybe your climate's a little bit warmer, a little bit more humid. I don't know, whatever you're into. This bad boy is awesome. So same with the Dabsci pump that is in one of our flower rooms. We need to upgrade to all of them having this, because the Dabsci pump is another one that is absolutely phenomenal. Not really good for a home grower. that's the flip of like this pump is like a couple $1,000s, and it's the sickest pump you'll ever see though. It's like pretty fancy. It's all digital. It works really good with the Trollmaster unit. That's why I say this. Sorry. So anyways, after our show next week, when we have a guest, after that is I'm thinking of interviewing Dark Horse and having us go through some of the photos actually together with Jason, because I think it would be awesome. You guys tell me what you think. Yes. We got El Papi. My dad and my brother are helping us do some electrical, and I'm super excited. Jason's uncle is also an incredible electrician, so we've got all the Sparkies. Pretty exciting. Also, Felba, dude, it's so good to see you. Also, as a good sign, this is completely random but awesome, is there is a bird's nest at the grow. And so when my dad was taking down all these lights today, there's this nest perched up on this light, and I was like, we have to keep the bird there until her little babies fly. So anyways, all the boys, Jason and my dad are like, really? And yeah. So the boys are keeping the bird. We're keeping the bird, and I'm super excited. She'll be in there too. She just had her like 3 or 4 little babies. They're still pink. So excited. Just felt like it was a good sign. Gotta have a bird. It's better than the mites. Yeah. Let's see if we go up. Oh, Joffrey, how in the heck are you? I am so stoked that you get to share our episode 60 and majority of all of the other shows together. Joffrey, I just love you. And I can't thank you enough for being in everybody's chat, because you're just so awesome. And I just think you're the nicest person. Thanks so freaking much. I don't want you to peace out, Joffrey. Sorry. Mike Denver, it's so good to see you too. It's way too long. Way too long, Mike Denver. How are your mushrooms? How are your plants? How's it going? Give us an update. What are you growing over there? Oh, Michelle, you're so sweet. So I'm smoking on Purple Runts right now. Much better than last month. Love the flower. Ooh. That sounds nice. Purple Runts, I'm running the runts. I was taking clones of it today, and sometimes I'm always like, do I want to do this? And then every time I run it, I'm just like, damn, she is just so gorgeous. So gorgeous. It does have a really nice flavor too. The Purple Runts, though, I have not tried. And Michelle, I can't even imagine how pretty that is. Flavorful, everything. Can you give us a little description on this Purple Runts? Because it sounds amazing. Stutter, it's so good to see you. What are you smoking on? I see you puffing over here. Triked Out Seeds, thank you so much for joining the chat. Guerrera Grows, I hope you're doing freaking awesome. What are you up to? Okay, I'm doing some final transplanting in their final homes. I'm very excited for this grow season. It's cool that you say that. So I'm always like too honest about some of the obstacles that I have in my personal plant life. But I'm going to give you another one. So because it's summertime, right? This is like when I have to go into warrior zone mode. Like I just wake up and I'm like, what am I going to kill today? Just kidding. Bugs, insects. Okay. So, and I actually feel bad sometimes when I kill these mother truckers, but for the most part, not so much. So the spider mites and the thrips, you guys tell me, maybe it's a Colorado thing. Almost guaranteed, and it's very unfortunate. Almost like worse than fungus gnats. I remember we get years where fungus gnats will definitely come in hot, and I would say like 90% of grows I've ever walked or worked at, they have fungus gnats. At least at some point in time, and they are hard for some people, I think, to get rid of after their population really starts getting out of control. But thrips and spider mites. So these mother truckers in May. I don't know what it is, but basically, let me tell you my first obstacle of these obstacles. So I have all these mom plants, and these mom plants are in my sick mom room. So I have a sick mom room that's actually not exactly what you would imagine, maybe slightly, is I'll take cuts from people first, and I'll just put them in there. It's like, it's not ideal because there is a lot of plants and they all come in at different like ages or time frames. But basically, these moms that are big, let's just say 6 foot tall, and they've got pretty thick stalks. They are pretty resilient to certain things, like root aphids specifically is what comes to mind, just because the stalks are big enough where they can't penetrate as heavily or cause as much severe damage. But so one day I see in my cocoa, okay, let me add a 5-gallon pot, 6-foot plant, my cocoa inside of a building has ants in it. I'm like, what the fuck? And everybody knows every time that you see ants, you're like, where the fuck are the aphids? Where are the root aphids? Where are the aphids? Okay, so I will relieve our stress here. There was no aphids, but I literally have this like ant farm moving into my cocoa. And I'm like, what in the fuck? I can't, And the plants, like, this is what's weird is like the ants are actually crawling up the stalk of the plant. They're like in the canopy. These aren't like flowering, obviously, so it's not like a huge deal, and I'm already going to be treating them. And I know that, and I'm going to be taking the clones off of these. So it's not like a huge deal, but I'm like, I can't have ants in here. So I drench the plants. And the thing about ants is they have so many products that kill ants. Ants are actually like really easy to kill. I'd say for the most part, at least if you can drench like a pot like that, it's not outside, so I drenched them and I used Pyganic. And I know I talk a lot about Pyganic, but the reason why is because it degrades really, really rapidly under sunlight or under your room's lights even. It's an on-contact killer. So it's not going to kill everything forever most of the times. Like thrips and things like that, you have to do multiple applications. But mild things like even the earwigs we were talking about sometimes, or these bad boys, the ants, is I'll do a drench that's like a really low drench, like 2 mils per gallon. Do what the label says. Okay, we know this every time. I just have to make sure I say this. Follow the label's instructions. But I will take a really low mix rate and of a foliar after I drench it, and I'll spray it with an application directly to the leaves, and I'll do it a little bit stronger. Not too crazy though. Like, let's say if something is calling hypothetically for an ounce to 90 mils per gallon. I would say that's pretty standard thing. I will take that ounce because that's its lowest rate, and you still need this to be effective. But because I'm doing a drench application, whatever its drench application is I will take and I'll do like 10 mils. I'm just going to try to simplify this, but 10 mils to start per gallon of this foliar after I do the drench. And I do them right after each other because whatever you got living in the medium, you get it to get its surface, and then you hit them on top, and you're coming in hot. So anyways, I annihilate the ants, and I'm like excited. I'm like, sweet, the ants are dead. But I go in, and I just got these genetics, and the person was really upfront with me. They were like, I have thrips, and I was like, cool. And like thrips aren't that bad to kill. You guys tell me what you use for thrips. They're not too shabby, but you usually do have to do pretty close treatments together from what I personally found. And you have to do 2 or 3 minimum just to make sure that they're actually dead instead of falsely gone. So anyways, we haven't had thrips in a long time. We'll sporadically get them. I'm just being honest about this in our flower rooms. Occasionally, I think I posted on Instagram it once, I'll kill them. Jason laughs. I'll kill them all. They'll be gone for like 6 months, 8 months. And then stuff will start blooming outside of our property. And then I don't even know what the fuck happens, but we get thrips. So one of the guys that I work with at the garden, Colin, he loves green cleaner. And I say this because I'm not a huge fan of green cleaner, but I will say there's a lot of people that do love green cleaner and find it extremely effective for all kinds of pests. It's got like a lot of essential oils in it, those that aren't familiar with it. I think it does work. It's just a lot of those products don't work if you have like a really out of control infestation of something. But you tell me, correct me if I'm wrong. So anyways, he also helps with that. He likes to spray the bottoms of the pots with the green cleaner and just to like keep them back every couple of days. And I think that really is a great approach. Those that haven't tried it and like say you are late in flower and you don't want to spray your product directly or anything and I'm not saying late in flower, like say you're even at like week 3 and you're like, shit, this is like something that you guys would really like, I think. And then same with like your tomato plants or even like your house plants and things. This is something that you can find on Amazon, I swear, fairly easily. And it's super, you can burn only because people will leave their lights on or hit their plants like under direct sunlight, things like that. But if you really just turn off your lights, I've never seen this product really burn, even if you use it at a pretty high mix rate. It does pretty good. So anyways, after the ants, I get these thrips and like mother trucker. So then the thrips, I feel like they've just been bouncing around my houseplants. They've just been everything. So I had to treat everything on Sunday and do like absolutely everything. And I had to kill all my moms and recut all of my mom's clones and restart for this whole project, all these projects. Okay, sorry, I'm all over the place now. This is how it feels. is I was like, I wasn't planning on doing this, and then it interrupted all of this like cycle. Now is I was like, okay, now I can't sell genetics like of certain strains because I'm restarting with these young little babies. It's gonna be a while, damn it. And then anyways, so I was just like, who can relate to this though, where you'll get so much going on or like at once with your plants that it's almost devastating because you can kill all these things and then you'll have like another obstacle pop up. And I don't know if anybody really can relate to that, but I imagine so, because it seems like plants, even growing just cannabis alone, is like it keeps you so. I don't know how people are so fucking cocky in this industry. Okay, this is what I'm getting to. Okay, no matter how intelligent somebody is, no matter how much grow experience, that definitely plays a big part in like your canvas, your special text, your little tricks and flips. But I feel like it really is like your patience with a plant. and I feel like otherwise you would just be like, fuck it, I can't do this anymore. I don't know. You guys tell me if I'm totally off base, but I was just thinking about that. In a weird way, I was thinking, I see all these people on Instagram that like always post like their best shit. And I see like the post that I made specifically, I was really proud of this. I'll tell you right now. So when I started working there, one of our rooms got root aphids, russet mites, thrips, fungus gnats, and I think that's it. No, spider mites. So it had all of them. And the reason that this could happen, you guys are probably like, oh my God, is the reason this can happen is with genetics. Is like when people are bringing in lots of different genetics or like people are coming through from like other gardens to get genetics or whatever. So we are really good about not treating our flower rooms and we try to just keep everybody out of them to avoid some of these things. So anyways, this room had everything and it was awful. It's like you saw this room get flipped and the plants were so gorgeous. And I'm not just saying this, like they were so gorgeous. They were so big. They were just doing fantastic. And then had all this shit all of a sudden. And I'm talking all of a sudden. It's not that their population, it would be really hard for a person to tell that these plants had all of these things going on. You wouldn't walk into the room and with your naked eye just see like shit's crazy and like flying everywhere. There's like webbing and it wasn't anything like that. But if you have a trained eye for like spotting russet mites damage or thrips damage, we all know that, like the little slashing, even like fungus gnats and aphids, root aphids, all three of those they'll cause like this discoloration in the plant pretty fast, like this yellowing. Again, that's like uptake issues. Come back to that. But I think anyways, when I made this post, I killed all these fuckers. And I was so excited, right? These plants were it was probably 3 weeks after the annihilation, shall we call it. And so they were still pretty young into flower, but they were getting there. And you could see these plants, like, I just walked in and with Colin, I was like, Colin, look at these effing stalks. They are just amazing. And we walk in and we see the plants praying every single day. And I shit you not, Colin will vouch for me. So for like an entire month after this, like the plants did not stop praying, like did not stop. They were just so freaking happy. So it ended up being like a really pretty harvest. And so I was thinking about that. I was like, if somebody came into our grow like that day and they saw all this, they'd be like, what are you doing? And I was like, I think that this is something that is wrong in this industry. And you guys maybe tell me if you don't think like this. It's maybe it is just people working badged or licensed that are like so judgmental or so brash. I don't know, competitive. I don't really know exactly what the right word is. Is they just come in talking shit. Is like I would never go into a person's garden if they have all these things, and I would never make any assumption. Like, and that sounds ridiculous maybe to some, but it's like shit really does happen. And you really like, you don't know somebody's like climate obstacles, and you don't know if their buildings are sealed or not sealed, or how much exposure, how many employees, all these different factors. We all know an IPM, a strong IPM is great, but sometimes battles are bigger than we think. So anyways, I think we should work as a group to change somehow where it's not like cool to be like, I'm just going to take pictures of my premium flower and I'm going to sell it for the most expensive and I'm going to put it in this Teddy jar and I'm going to be like, I'm fucking baby Jesus. Like that's just, that's like, Scott used to do like hashtag, less bro, more pro. That's to me like what that is it's like that's like ew. Childish, stupid. But the real value as growers and consumers to me of good product is knowing that this product is treated like a healthy plant a very healthy plant is what we're ultimately shooting for, because you're going to have a healthy consumable product in the end. Obviously, quality product. It's going to be a high quality product because it lived a good life and it got everything it needed and it did its job, you know? She's just like flexing. She's like working out for everybody. Anyways, and then I don't know. I see all these guys online and they're all talking shit on each other and they're all just like, look at what's going on with this this guy. Like I can see their powder mildew in this picture, or I can see their spider mite damage, or I don't know. Versus the people that will comment on these pictures, this specific post, you guys should check it out. It's on my Instagram and Dark Horse's page, is is the plants just look so amazing. And it was such an accomplishment. And there's these couple of people that wrote back and they were like, this is how you treat thrips. And I was like, that's different. That's cool. That's a person being like, hey, I have information. We all have different approaches to things. And I am always down to listen to recommendations and try them and like really. Yeah, I think the more the merrier across the board. And I don't think that person's an asshole because they're actually being like, hey, let me help you. Like, and it's not in a condescending tone and like, hey, you amateur hour. It's not like that. It's just like a respectful, like, here's a tip. And that's cool. But I think the people that are like straight, like hating on each other and like talking shit, except for THC Scissors. I will talk shit on him for a long time, but that rightfully so. Okay. But I'd say aside from that, nope. I don't see anybody's plants that really hold that or reputation that should have like this weird disillusion that these aren't plants. Like at what point of growing or becoming the best at growing weed did it become, we don't have problems. I've never had that problem. Like, it's like, what? It's like, I thought that is what made you the best grower. It's like, you're like, yeah, dude, I can fucking kill anything. Yeah, I can grow no matter what they take away, no matter what the store has, no matter. I think that those are the things that I've always shooted for. Okay. Another change of subject. I'm sorry. This is what happens when I'm by myself. Well, not, but is the reason that this whole entire thought was a thought is because Jason and I were talking the other day about how much cannabis saved us and completely different experiences and long ago for both of each other, but different points in our lives. And we were talking about like from growing to consuming weed or consuming weed to growing weed. There we go. Is they both offer this like healing. And it sounds so weird, but we were talking about how introverted we were as people that were just younger. Like, let's just say 21 years old is where you would just stay kind of in your own zone. Like when you were in your garden, it was this freeing, relaxing space that you were actually excited to be in. Like, and it's weird to say this too, but almost that communication that does happen with a grower in the plants. And it's definitely not just cannabis. This is anything I think that you find this contentness in, and also this like you don't want to be selfish at all, is you really It's a selfless love. That's what I mean. Is the more you put into her, any of these flowers, any of these living things, it seems as though they respond tenfold. And on the flip of what I'm talking about with shitty weed is obstacles, is I feel like when I first placed, this is so, we won't even go into years or like anything like that, but it wasn't placing either. Technically, it was a lab that tested everybody's weed in the state, and it was only one lab, and they used to come in and take your samples. It was really expensive. It was like this marketing thing. It wasn't required at the time. It was $1,000 a strain, and it would just make people feel good if they knew what the potency was, because you couldn't go into every dispensary and see that. So we worked like a boutique shop even then, and we wanted the best, and we wanted people to have that knowledge if that was important to them, so, or that resource available. So we got tested, and what they did at the time is they would email you back if you tested highest in potency overall, like out of everybody else's lab, and it wasn't a trophy or a belt or you didn't get a globe or anything cool like that. They just sent you an email, and they were like, hey, you, out of all of these other places, and they list all the other businesses and the strains and things like that, is they would say that your overall potency is higher by this much. Congratulations. And we will see you next month. And so I did that for 2 years with a couple different strains in Colorado, and it did feel cool. It was like, I'm saying, because of this. So that is when I used to run a fully organic system, which those that do not know, I miss these days. And I wish I could do it commercially the same. And I wish the soil was the same. But I've talked about this countless times, and I'm sorry, but I really just was in love with it. Is I ran this system that was not elaborate, though. Is it was Pro Mix and the Root 707 soil blended together. And I used to do a compost tea once a week. And sometimes they would get like a little pick me up at different stages of flowers, say like week 3, around that day 40, let's just say, give them like a little extra brew. But they were really getting like a light feed for the majority of their life. And these plants didn't get flipped until they were about 6 months old. So they would be really, really big. It's almost the way that people do moms now, is how we would almost grow as just how we would grow. And I absolutely loved it. The plants got harvested individually, and you actually did check them with a microscope before harvesting them, and they were just extremely baby. This is like when weed was like $6,000 a pound minimum. It's just a nice time. So anyways, there was like a high expectation though for the quality even back then. And so I say even more in some cases. So anyways, I would pray over these mother trucking plants every single day. And I'm not saying this is like a religious thing or anything. Like it's not that. Don't freak out. But I think that if you this contentness that these plants gave me. I used to work at this grow for like 16 hours a day, like 7 days a week. I never missed a day of work in 3 years. And I was like so proud of that at one point of my life. And I think it's because they like brought this happiness and bliss to my life. I was almost like an unhealthy obsession actually, but like defoliating. It was so relaxing and it was so calming, and being able to listen to your music. And there was just this peace that the plants brought me that I never felt with like a person or animals. Like I love all those things, don't get me wrong. But I think it's extraordinary to me that you almost can like whisper to each other or something. And so I prayed over this garden every single day, and I would pull out the rows. That's how we had to do it, is you'd have to pull out a row and move it into the hallway to water the room. And so there were 600 plants in this bedroom. I will always remember this. And they're in 10-gallon pots back then. And so you'd have to slide every single one of them over and hand watered all of these plants. So every single plant, I would come back when I would push them back, and I would like fluff my hands over the soil and like just, raise it back up and give it a little poof and like straighten out the stalk. Some of these little things. So when I had prayed every single day, and then we got these results that we tested highest in the state, I didn't even know testing highest in the state was even like a thing that could be a thing. And like, yes, as a business, we were paying for this shit, like I said, as a priority. But it was just funny that I wonder how many people this has happened to, and how often it gets overlooked, though, is because of social media and because of all these things that it's like awesome to be like the Jungle Boys or Cookies and to have or whoever the hell you're into. But I feel like I bet they've had these feelings. Maybe they haven't. I don't know. It's just, I think when you're actually that connected to your garden and it's that connected to you, where it like hurts you to see thrips, it hurts you to see bugs or fusarium and HLVD and some of these things. But I don't think it should be a tool to like pick on each other. I know we talk about this sometimes, but I just have noticed it a lot lately. And I'm like, everybody, what is this coming from? I think these plants were sent here, all the plants, to really take care of, to take care of us and we to take care of them. But it's such a symbiotic relationship that I think it's almost, it keeps me grounded in the other parts of my life, I think. But I do think it's that sometimes you got to be douchey. I do understand that. Sometimes you got to be like, yeah, I'm fucking better. And don't get me wrong, I will definitely talk shit to anybody that's like, your weed sucks or you suck or something like that. I'm like, dude, I will grow next to you all day long. Same space, same plants, same count, big, small, medium, doesn't matter. But so yeah, don't get me wrong, I sometimes have my like douchey moments too. But I think that the mass majority of everybody in our chat and that the people that I've gotten close to over the years is cannabis has just really been something that saved their lives. And I think even for people that are battling with drug addictions or alcoholism or whatever it is I think this is something that if we focused on not doing all of our strains like this, but breeding, it's not hemp, it's not anything like that, but focusing more on how could we produce strains that actually help people that really do have PTSD for various reasons or various levels, and or not just like physical illnesses, but yeah, mental health, like all these issues going on, where I think it would be cool if you had strains that were like 7% and 12% and 14% and just these different ranges, instead of only shooting for these high margins, I think, or the disillusion that sometimes, well, I feel like it is if you have like this huge range that we've talked about of 16 to 20%, that's just too much that you can add on top of something. So when you're able to do that is when you see strains at 36%, they probably really are closer to 22 or 24% on the high end. I would think consistently with what I'm seeing out there, but I don't know if those strains even, I think out of curiosity, because I've smoked so many things that get you high with other cannabinoids. I know that you guys know about this way more than me, but the compounds that all work together on actually like the psychoactive effect or the body effect is, I think it would be worth the experiment to be focusing on trying out a couple of these other strains, like even like runts and things that are really flavorful and taste amazing, is maybe we could breed them with strains like Romulan and like some of these like incredible ones that we've talked about that actually take it down a notch. And I know that sounds bad, but I just think there's lots of ways we can manipulate that, but I would rather do it kind of naturally. However you want to look at that. Oh, Nate Studios. I'm sorry that you guys know that I suck at this sometimes. I get better over time, Hello, glad to catch you live. Hoping you're doing well. Gosh, thank you so much. I think I'm a little all over the place tonight because my brain has just been going a million miles per hour all week. Let's see. Tricked Out Seeds. What a great name and great picture. Beautiful. Make some seeds this year. Guerrera. Yeah. Wait. Okay, wait. Guerrero Grows. I know I sound like a broken record, but if you ever need anybody to step in as a guest, don't hesitate to ask. Guerrero Grows. Let me tell you something right now. I appreciate that so much. But the truth is I don't want my show to be guests very often. I wanted that when I first originally left the Adam Dunn show. Sorry, there's something in my eye. My eyes are always black. I see on the cameras too. Sorry. When I left the Adam Dunn show, I I didn't want to be interviewing people anymore because of a couple reasons. Is I love to interview people that I actually genuinely support and that genuinely support me. And I like to acknowledge, I think I have more of an interest in actually acknowledging the people that don't get acknowledged and that don't have the following and don't get the recognition. I have a lot of quote unquote friends that are part of the cool kids club. You know, like you talk to all these people on the real and all these whoever. And the thing is I guess when you get to know each other, I've seen them get interviewed so many times by other people, is I'm like, I would love to do this if you feel like doing this. I'll always throw it out there. Like always, like Rugburn, you know, like Rugburn I fucking would love to have on the show. Rugburn is a good friend of mine and I absolutely love Rugburn. And from Meridignus. Scott, same thing from Meridignus. Is like I talk to Scott on a pretty regular basis. And Scott, he has no interest in like really doing the podcast anymore, or like Capulator, or some of these guys that I actually do have relationships with that would be fucking awesome shows. Is the truth is like whether they have interviewed or not before me, is I throw it out there, and if they want to do it, they want to do it, and I'm always available for it. We know that. But I think that my real mission here that we haven't got to see, and this is my goal, it's so hard, guys. I know I make all these big plans and these goals, but then there's like this business factor to all of this shit that just takes so fucking long, and like doing it legit or doing it actually really nice, which I know seems very ironic, is is I want my show to more be building relationships with one another and talking about shit that I never get to talk about on other other podcasts, or could never say without pissing people off or having like a really like argumentative, or I don't know. It's like I'm down for that too. It's like everybody does have different views, or perspectives. I mean, with cultivation, period. But I think that I want this more to be a hangout where we all get to actually share real life shit, real life obstacles, actually help each other. And I think it'll be just good. Is when I was shooting to be like famous, I was like, one day I'm gonna be famous and one day I'm gonna be the best fucking interviewer ever. And I was like, you know, I don't give a fuck about any of this. I realized that I give so much of a fuck about everybody though that is a part of my pack. When I see Mike Denver, when I see all of you guys that have followed me from the Adam Dunn Show, or met me from Dark Horse, or Future Cannabis Project, fucking love you guys. Two is like, I'm just so grateful to see that Gerhardt, it's like I'm just so grateful to keep on keeping on, and that we get to do this, and that I see these relationships organically building. I don't know. It's like, I'm just not trying to be famous, and I'm just not trying to really give a fuck what people think about me. I know that sounds bad. I used to just, like I said, value this so much. I was like, Treat is going to be an empire, and I'm going to be the most cut out cookie cutter owner that is just like boop, boop, boop. And I thought the same thing with podcasting at first. I was like, I'm just going to mess around at first, like maybe 3 episodes. And I was like, I'm going to have this awesome, I had a whole plan. And then I started typing things, and then I typed too much and sending things, and then I'd send too much. Anyways, I've come to the conclusion that if you guys hang out with me, I guarantee there will be some badass interviews along the way. The guy we have coming on, Fernando, he's fucking awesome. And I met him in Minnesota at the trade show there, and I feel like Brainstrap's coming on. We've had a couple cancellations, but when I say cancellations, is instead of me being bummed out, I'm always like, oh, I get to be selfish again. So bad to say, but no. I love the guests that I do have come on the show. And I would like to get better at asking them the perfect questions every time, for sure. But I really just want them to feel comfortable as well, and like feel as though this could be a different experience on my show than these bigger platforms, or maybe all this pressure, or maybe saying the wrong, I don't know. I just want people to feel good. Just like you guys make me feel good, is I just want to chill with you, smoke blunts, talk about fucking growing. Breeding too. Well, all of it. Let's see. Fab Bundy. You know I respect you so much. I just love the Fab Bundy. Fall Dog. Oh, you sweet baby angel. These. See, even the best growers over water. Okay, so this I did want to do a show on, and you guys tell me if this would be not entertaining for you. I will actually put it on the green screen, though. Is the rock wool and the cocoa that I use in these stacks, and drippers, and the Troll Master that I was talking about, and the amount of stakes you should use, or the type of stake that you should use, or what do you do if you spend $20,000, $5,000, $500, $1 on an irrigation system and you can't use it? You just like end up getting really frustrated and not wanting to use it because you either see that your plants are getting overwatered, or you see one side of the room getting watered correctly, another side not getting watered correctly, certain parts and pitches of the table. The drainage can be a fucking nightmare. And I think there is a lot that goes into it. So I wanted to do a step-by-step breakdown of why I would use Netafim over Floraflex. And this is not bashing on Floraflex. I would definitely tell you to use Floraflex as well if you had a different growing method or style that you were trying to achieve, or quality that you were, something particular. I would recommend Floraflex. But Netafim is my go-to. I absolutely love Netafim. It's very, very, very slow. The drip itself, it takes forever in comparison to a lot of open flow lines, or even the Floraflex like pucks and things like that. Anyways, I wanted to break down all the different sizes of what it means, I guess, when you're looking for these parts and piecing them together. I tried to do this for Way to Grow in pamphlets, sorry. I tried to like develop this whole irrigation commercial team to show people how easy it is and how incredible it can be to actually have for your plant's health. It really can be phenomenal, and you can get a lot of it out of your plants if you dial it in perfectly. But most times there's just a lot of obstacles that I would like to work out the kinks and explain why, and explain how we can eliminate more by a simple stack program. And you guys can tell me this feedback if you're like, this doesn't work. But in all of my findings, this has helped me a lot. And I've just been hearing of a lot of people running into overwatering, specifically with irrigation, or not enough. And I think if I show you the different ways that you can play with this and manipulate the system with a couple different approaches, they're all correct. They're all great, but they're different from one another. And it really is what best suits you. But because I am going to put together a nice pitch for Dark Horse, you guys let them know, is because of this new facility, I have some ideas. And I want to show you from a consultant's perspective, my perspective, a grower's perspective, all these things of what I would do with this space. This is going to be funny because I'll show you how much he actually does and doesn't do. And you guys will get a real taste of my job. I think it would be cool though to show you how you're going to take an old system and adjust a few of these things and build this system together. And because we're going to be documenting so much of this, I think it would be beneficial to talk about irrigation. The time, even the feed times, I see a lot of people have never been exposed to properly timing out, like how long it takes for the plant to initially run off that first feed when you put the drip lines in. And that time is going to be the time that you're either dividing up or you're stacking. Once again, this goes into a lot of other factors we will talk about. I don't know. You guys tell me if this would be like pointless, boring, or if it actually would be cool. For some reason, these things are so cool to me, but I don't know how everybody feels. To be honest, I wish I had clones. Michelle Barnhill. But I won the seeds on 420 drawings. So I went and I got new soil, and I'm going to pop a few more. Oh my goodness. Michelle. Yes. I think that's super exciting. I have some ideas for you, Michelle. I'll slide into your DMs. Oh, but I do love that Guerrero Grows says that even the best growers overwater, because it it's something that I think is the most difficult thing to actually dial in, and it's the most offensive thing if I try to go to somebody and say, hey, for 20 years you've been doing this, not incorrectly, but these plants are resilient. These plants are resilient, but they could also flourish. This is what we're looking at. It's like, do you want it to flourish? But when somebody really believes that drying, I see where people think drying them out too much though is also beneficial. I know a lot of people. I know that at one point in my career, I believe that. And that's a different approach as well. But now I would not recommend letting your plant wilt or anything really close to that. But we all know I'm a fan of H2O2. Y'all got burgers? Oh, let's see. Shh. Guerrero Gross. If you have any questions, you should ask Fazoli. He's got 10 times experience I have, especially indoors. Fazoli. What a good name. Oh, Michelle, you're so nice. Let's see. I'm 36 hours off the blunts. Gosh, Fazoli, I didn't even want to say it. I didn't even want to say it because should I put this out? I'll put this one out. I feel like that I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you. I've been trying. Okay, I'll be real with you right now when you tell me that. But I'm about to break this rule right now. I only smoked one blunt today. And usually, the last 2 days I've only been a one blunter during the day. And usually that is not my style. I'm a breakfast, lunch, and brunch girl, at least, minimum, before I get home. And nope. So I just want to say thank you for the encouragement because I'm baby weaning off and you're a master. You're a pro already. I know you're going to crush. I wish I could give you a joint. We have some really nice joints. I'll make Dark Horse put them on a show tomorrow. You'll see. They're beautiful. Beautiful. But Fazoli, I am really proud of you. Just know that you have inspired me and that your lungs are already 36 hours healthier. I see the pink in you. Okay, we're just going to skip it. Okay, Val Bundy. Hell yeah, Fazoli. Little longer and that nicotine should be gone. That's what I'm talking about. You're right there. You are right there. You know what you need to get? Is a Fazoli pressed juice in the morning or a smoothie, just a nice little treat to start your day right as a nice little reward because freaking crushing. The worst is over. Let's see. I don't do blunts anymore. I quit smoking 4 years ago. Michelle, so freaking proud of you too. Happy 4 years. Gosh, you little encouraging squad here. I just stick to the flower and joints or pipes. Smart. It's very smart, I think. There's a lot of pros to it too. I noticed that the more, just because I do smoke blunts, that nicotine that we're talking about, it makes your high just different. You know, it's just a different effect. And I think it's hard to feel that same effect. It's not the flavor. Everybody goes to attack the blunt smoker on flavor, right? Like just in every way, shape, and form compared to like glass or a joint. But the truth is, I think joints don't taste that good like halfway through. I'm really snooty with bowls. It's the same thing. Like people get all irritated smoking with me because I'll be cashing that biatch like 2 or 3 hits most kind of in. And it's not that I'm trying to be snooty. It's just like those things don't taste good to me, like to keep burning them. Blunts are a little bit better for that, I think. But that flavor though, that hit that you get from a bowl, that feeling it's funny as I'll hit a pipe now and I'll actually cough. It'll be like, I'll feel like a weakling. Or like when I take a dab, it's pretty embarrassing. And it's because I got those blunt lungs, you know what I mean? Versus if I was smoking the glass all the time, it does taste so good though. It does fill your lungs. It does like whoosh, shoot you right in the back there. There's nothing like that either. The joint, same thing. So good. 3, 4 hits, 5, 6. If it's real nice. You start that drip, it starts burning great, but it starts tasting like not. Chad Westport, what would I do without you? So awesome to see you. Oh, Kim Painter. Let's see what you're up to. Hey, Michelle. Hell yeah, good job on the success. Oh, disbanded. Okay, really quick question for you. Is disbanded, if I'm messing this up, please let me know. I'm pretty sure that you said that your son could help me with my Discord. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be totally off here, but I thought it was you. And I would absolutely love that. I would like to take you up on this offer. I also have another idea. So if you feel up to that, you just let me know. Dino Grow? That's what I'm talking about. So good to see you too. Are you okay, Chad Westport? Good evening, Dino Grow. Are you puffing along tonight? I'm waiting for the oven to finish and thought a bowl sounded good. Loading a little blue cheese at the moment. Chad Westport, what are you cooking? Goodness, does it sound good? Colorado Frost, iPad 1 super nice. You're right. Colorado Frost. Have you seen it? Have you touched it? Do you own it? Because I'm going to be super jealous. I actually worked with Trollmaster. This is how funny all these companies are. This is why we do have a new sponsor too. It's super exciting, but we're going to have them come on first before I announce it. But it's not them. I was just thinking about how much I've worked with all these guys like Athena way before everybody else did, and Canna and all these other companies that everybody, Trollmaster, they were all just such a-holes. That's the truth. Like when I would hang out with them and when we would go over their product and stuff like that, is I was like, I love some of these designs and I love their products so much. And then I just get sad because they're like, you have to be Ivan for us to sponsor you, or you have to be somebody way cooler than you. And I'm like, listen, bud, I need that iPad. Just kidding. I'm just going to have to buy it like everybody else. That's what they're telling me. But the truth is I would not pay, like I said, this is why, is I personally would not pay compared to so many other options for multiple rooms to have that, which is hard in my personal life because I'm restricted in some ways. You wouldn't think, but it's the obstacle of the opposite of problems, is because you have to buy it for multiple rooms. If you're going to run this, then it takes away the sparkle. It takes away the sparkle. You're like, I could just put in a Rainbird for $150, but then you have to run everything else on everything else has to be its own compartment though. And then you don't have the sparkle versus the iPad. It is the Gucci, like those sensors. If you guys really saw how, that's why I got to show you. I got to show you. If you don't know, or you got to go tonight and look on YouTube or wherever. Tell Trollmaster that J-Lo sent you. Just kidding. I think you will find that it is very sexy. It is very sexy. It just makes your whole life where you have it on your phone. You have your whole grow room basically on your phone. And you actually can adjust the things that you need to adjust without being there. But it's also the most user-friendly system, I think, out of most timers. That's why I like it for specifically irrigation more than the other ones, is it goes down to the minute. So, in second, sorry. So most timers for irrigation, you can't get it to do seconds, which a lot of people are like, why does this matter? Why would you care? We'll go into it deeper on the irrigation show. But it really, is you really don't see that with, I was trying to think of the Hydro Farm, I just can't remember what this other brand is. The Pilot, is it the Pilot one that we've all used? Or the hardwired, like, digital computer boards, they don't let you go down to small counts of time. Sorry that all came out so difficultly. I like the Trollmaster for that. You can do 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and then you can stack. I would sneeze. I'm so sorry. Oh, okay. Excuse me. You can stack your feeds a lot more accurately that way, to me. You could have just like, I think you can have up to 12 feeds on their system. And even the iPad one, I'm pretty sure you can lengthen that. For some reason, that one has expanded options as well, I believe. I just think it's very user-friendly. Compared to these things where you have to like pop, push down, like twist around. You have to, the counts go to like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, like just weird. You're like, no. Excuse me. Hydro X Pro. Thank you, Colorado Frost. I really appreciate that. Hydro X Pro. That is what it is. And I really think that you guys should look it up. I wish I could pull it up right now. I bet I could, but I'll make my computer crash. Or the computer crash if I'll mess something up. I like the interviews with you both. Kim Painter, I know. It is, don't get me wrong, it is nice to have a friend on here versus not. But I just think the pressure, that's the thing that the Dark Horse channel doesn't talk about and the Adam Dunn show don't talk about, is to get people scheduled and do all these things. Definitely is a full-time job. I will give all these guys props. It is, and all the other shows, the Future Cannabis Project, all of these guys do such excellent jobs because they put this time into these shows. And that's just incredible. I just feel like scheduling is a full-time job. It's not scheduling. It's having 3 people scheduled so that your first 2 doesn't matter. All these different things. It's such a bigger gamble than what people think. And I realized if you're going to produce a show every single week, it would take you so many more hours than people realize in that week to prep for that show and have it go so fantastic. And maybe I should just like not do a show because I don't have time to do it yet. But in theory, one day. Viva la bird. Oh. Keep the bird. It's a new sign, new beginning. Yes. What chat is she in? Skunk Cap Glassworks. It is so lovely to see you. Fall Dog. My runts is Sin City Seeds. Yes. He's such a badass too. Runs crossed with blue power crossed with Sin Mint cookie. Her terps are all blueberries and skunk spray. That sounds amazing, Fall Dog. What does that look like? That's got to be beautiful. Purple Runts has purple hairs and is compacted buds. Very enjoyable smoke that tastes great in my dry herb vape or joint. Peace, love, respect, Duffnug. Oh, peace and love and respect to you. Thank you so much, Duffnug. You look awesome in your thing. And thank you so much for the kind words, for reals. And checking in on the show, hanging out with us. Joseph Anthony, thank you. THC Garage. You guys, cheers, everyone. Guerrero Gross. We had Matthew Gates on the show Friday. You should watch it. We talked about this. See, that's awesome, Guerrero Gross. I will definitely watch it. The weird thing in podcasting is so competitive. Only if you make it that way. It's funny. I'll tell you a story. I can't tell you the person, but he works in the legal world. He's an attorney for a high-up firm. And he was telling me one day that he used to be really into not social media, like when Twitch and Discord were really just for more gaming in that audience, is he was really deep into it. And same with YouTube, where he had like 100,000 or more subscribers on all of these platforms. And honestly, that's quite an accomplishment and a thing to achieve. And so he was like, I was doing this before I graduated law school. And he was like, and I was so into it for a time period. And he was like, I was making $2,000 a month off of it. And he was like, I realized like how big I had finally made it. And we were like talking about it because behind the scenes is the studios are expensive. The equipment's expensive. Every time you stream, you have to pay. Every place that you stream to, you have to pay. All these different things, and it's not outrageous, and it's definitely worth it because it is enjoyable. But I just think as far as profiting or doing it as a full-time job, that's what we were saying, is there's this fine line where you absolutely love it, but at the end of the day, it's like you got to see how this breaks down financially per hour of like, not me. My shows are way too long and all these things. But I'm just saying that if I was to really go balls to walls, is I couldn't have my job. I couldn't have my other stuff going on. I'd have to really put it all into this, which I would love to, but I just don't think, I think it's such a competitive platform, or maybe I'm just not on that level or ever going to be like that cool, is to make it like that. Some of these guys like Mr. Beast and stuff, like, yeah, obviously They did it right. They're making bank. But I don't know. Sorry for my rant. Ants in your pants doesn't sound fun. Thank you, Chad Westport. Yeah, I was like, this is something I actually have never had. I've had ants when I have root aphids that like will go under the doors or something like that, you know, in a bedroom that's not really sealed, or something that's pretty obvious though, like obviously a problem, I'm saying. Or when the seasons first initially switch and you really don't know you have an ant problem yet, and you haven't sprayed or something and the snow's still there and you're like, oh, the ants aren't going to be out. And then it's like 90 the next day. Welcome to Colorado. That's how you get ants in your pants. Taller 420. So good to see you. Joffrey. Mr. Lil. Mr. Lil, was it you or was it disbanded? I can't remember. But Mr. Lil, I hope you are doing awesome. I've missed you. Glassworks, cheers. Okay, Kim Painter. Oh, this is the ant killer I need to get. Okay, Amdro, ant killer, best shit ever. Had ants that would reappear every year in my house, same place. I did it like 5 years ago. Never an ant again. I promise. I'm going to get it. I'm definitely going to get it. This building where these plants are is like that. They're habitual offenders. I'm pretty sure the building is on an anthill. And I mean, like a real, if you guys saw the ants I'm talking about. And surprisingly, as much as like I'll use treatments and things like that, I absolutely hate pesticides. Think about this while I say this about the ants, but I'm glad that you said this, Boom. We were just talking about this. Is you can go to Home Depot and without an applicator's license or without any experience or knowledge of applying pesticides or anything like that, you can go to Home Depot and you can buy every single product that is considered illegal for use in cannabis. And you can go to a cultivation store and you have to order these things and they're like pretty uncomfortable about it. And they're not the same products, right? You spend $300 for a metacorporate at a grow store that you have to custom order, that you have to document, that there's all this like shit. And if you go to Home Depot, you spend $20 on it and it's a way stronger product. Just these things. So that's just one example. But I was thinking about how much of this product is used. We all talk about Monsanto. Bayer owns Monsanto, which Bayer owns everything. Everything you can possibly imagine they own. So when everybody's like, F Monsanto, yes, I agree with you. But at the same time, like, if you've ever drank a soda, if you've ever wiped with a toilet paper or a paper, like anything, Bayer owns it, okay? Anything that you have used ever, eat, consume, brush your hair, wash your hair, Bayer owns it. So it's just crazy. It's just crazy to me. But I was like, they have everybody buying all this shit and putting Scots on their, like fertilizing their grass and all this leaching and drift and all these things. And it just makes me so upset. I'm like, I wish I could really figure out how to kill insects outside. When we were talking about the pollinators, you don't want to hurt the pollinators. You don't want to hurt like skunks, raccoons, cats, dogs, like kids, yourself, all these things. When it rains, when the humidity rises, you don't want these things staying around. Like, I was just thinking about how much they have made it so accessible to hurt yourself or to like hurt the little earth. Gosh. I see why people hate pesticides. But Boom, I'm definitely going to get this ant shit. I can tell you that right now. Joseph Anthony, it's always something. I know. I'm always going off about my bugs. I mean, Joseph Anthony, thank you so much for saying that. You make me feel like you're just a real OG grower. I just think the more people bash or they like pick on people or they like say stupid shit, I can't even give examples, but I think like picking on about, yeah, their dirty plants or their powder mildew or their whatever happens is I'm just like, dude, you are such a loser. That is just like my only thought. I'm like, you clearly don't have experience doing this, you know, or as much as you think you do, if you're bashing on somebody for having those problems. Taller 420. Dang it, the South just comes out of me. Skunk Cape Glassworks. That was funny. Sorry. It's bad enough that I have sympathetic anxiety. Michelle, really? I am so sorry to hear that. I really am so sorry. Anxiety is like a hell of a thing. Sometimes I'll be so anxious. I'm sure some people notice, some people don't. But I feel like there's definitely different levels to that. And I empathize so much for people that combat all types of different anxiety. Yes, I think it makes for such a complex life mentally for people where they just don't deserve. They're such exceptional people. Everybody has these rare and unique forms, like your little diamond self. And I think it's got to be stressful if you feel anxious all the time or often or in certain. I'll just send you guys love and healing that you're around more things and people that don't make you feel anxious ever. Keeper's Garden, cheers to you. Thank you. Michelle, it's weird how some of these grows act like bad stuff never happens to their plants. Shit happens. I like that. I like that a lot. That's why I do think it's cool when people can just own. It's just a weird cycle. Is if you tell somebody you give them clones and you're like, hey, I have thrips. Like the person that gave me thrips he was like, I have thrips. And I was like, cool. And I took that because the genetics were important to me. And the truth is like, I'm not for 1 second did I think like this. I've known this grower for so long, and he's had some of the best weed I've ever smoked for so long. And so this is exactly what I mean by that is when you see him have thrips, I'm like, I don't give a fuck if you grow with thrips forever. Like if that's part of your tech, like your weed is fire. Like I don't need to bash on your thing. I don't need to like if some people don't like to use harsh chemicals or products, or they do like to use living soil to combat microbes using microbes and beneficials and things like that. There's just things that will show in a plant, obviously, but just these different approaches that we're talking about that somebody might not even know that you have something figured out. Like for instance, this will happen to me is at most gardens I've ever worked at is people will come in and there's always like there's always that guy that's just like that fucking guy that like walks in and is like, oh, did you see you have sulfur? Or did you see you have powder mildew? Sorry. Oh, did you see you have thrips? Did you see like just, like that person? And the thing is like I've gotten really good with this. Is I'm like, no fucking shit. Like, thank you. Thank you for pointing out something that I see every single day and something that I tend to and we're taking care of and we're doing like all these things. Like, thank you for showing up today to let me fucking know what the problem was. I have been waiting for you. It's just that feeling. I try not to do, not even like I said, portray things like this, even as the job I do and people asking for your opinion. It's like I would never think or approach it like this. But when I see how much people get just weird about it is I'm like, oh, these treatments, I'll have these experiences where you'll have a decline in a garden that we talk about where let's just say that they get the fungus gnats first and then they get thrips or I don't know. It's honestly hard to say that. They have all of it. Let's just say by the time I come there, they have all of it. And they have root aphids and they have russets and they have spider mites and in different rooms maybe worse than others, but like just these different things going on. And the truth is you have to treat these things with the ages that we talk about. The perpetual harvest is a huge factor. Is like, can you spray these things? Can you not? Can you use this treatment up until harvest? And we don't do that. So there's this hard part where I don't use pesticides like past week 4. And I'm being honest with that and I'll only use certain products if I know that there's no residuals. Yeah. It's just once you have bud sites, and that's week 4 is the latest. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's really week 3 that you don't want to spray after, right? But I'm just being real with you. If you do have shit hit the fan, or you had an infestation and you have to make sure that they don't flare those last whatever weeks in flower. And so I think it is weird that you have to be like, I'm going to use Pyganic. So Pyganic is actually not compatible with sulfur at all. So sulfur is not good with a lot of products. That for a simple rule of thumb is anything that's like an oil based, or like essential oils, or even like a neem oil. Any of the oils is, you can't use sulfur within 14 days because you will battle with that phytotoxicity. And it's hard sometimes when you have aphids or you have something else going on and you're like, okay, I'm fucked either way, because if I treat for the aphids, then I can't treat for the powder mildew. Granted, the Pyganic will help a little bit with powder mildew. It actually does. But it's not as effective as, say, a sulfur application. And so, or burning sulfur. So you'll be like, which one is worse, or which one is dabbling with fire more? Usually I go for the bugs first, because I'm like, if this is in veg, I can kill this powder mildew before we even get into flower. And there's tons of other products besides sulfur. I'm saying, if you don't want to use sulfur, I limit the amount of like sulfur that our plants get exposed to before flower especially, but just over their life, because it's a unique element. It's a unique, wonderful thing to our cannabis plants, but you can't get crazy with it. You got to be careful. So I'm not saying careful in a dangerous way. I'm saying, well, maybe, but careful in a flavor way, or burning it and trying to use these other products in the meantime of, say you have a 4-week veg time or a 6-week veg time. That's not very long. So if you have all these insects and you have all these things going on, usually these products only target X, Y, and Z, or just this thing. And so you have to use them in rotation. And we talk about that. I know you guys are crushing with your IPM rotations and preventative measures. But when you actually have these problems, you have to be like, I'm going to write out 2 weeks where what's the closest I could get it without having that phytotoxicity. So on day 15, I could hypothetically apply sulfur now. And then what's the longest I have to go once again, because now I just applied sulfur. So now I have to wait another 2 weeks to do the other thing. But then if my veg time is only 4 to 6 weeks, it's really not the best to treat your clones before they're rooted. You can treat your clones after they're rooted, and you can honestly kill something pretty fast that way. But it's hard on the plant to dunk them in a solution and then plug them. I know it seems ass backwards, but it's almost better for you to keep the insect on it in the dome before they get those roots, because then it's going to respond better to the treatment. It's going to be a little bit hardier. But so if you have to wait 2 weeks to do that, 3 weeks to do that, I'm saying, before you even start everything, is how are you going to kill all these things before they get into flower? If you have to spread all of these things out to properly use these products and not have your weed go into flower like shit and contaminate your flower room, or their population get heightened, or the fusarium get flared because now you have insects and now you have a longer night dark period and cycle that's instigating that. Those are those things that I'm like, you cannot judge growers. It's like, this is not like a lack of understanding. This is probably when people really start understanding and they're like, there's only so much that you can combat at the same time. And everybody's like, just start from seed, or just make this no problem. And it's like, seeds have really high levels of HLVD, if just as much as, clones or something like that. So and I don't know, is clones, you're still taking a gamble. It's like, we talk about, well, we won't need to go into that right now. You guys know, is that clones it's still different. They're still, once again, different. But sometimes you just can't kill everything, and you can't start from seed, and you can't grow from seed because of the circumstances. And yes. Wesley Pipes, shut your mouth and lead by doing is a dying art. I love it, Wesley. I love it. That is just such a cool way to just say it. Just say it. It's because I think that's the best way, is you just gotta You just gotta keep on keeping on. You know, you gotta show cool head, hot game. That's the rule of thumb. You don't have to be a little fucker, you know? Kelly, holy crap, J-Lo live. That's what I'm talking about. Kelly, I can't believe you're in here. I'm so excited. Taller 420. I play Wesley pipes. I play classical musics and bird sounds. Gosh. My girls wish they got that. That sounds incredible. Do you walk in and you feel that like nice, like yes in the jungle? I don't know, because I like what you're saying. I might have to play some classical music now that you say that. Might just have to give it a go for my girls. I believe in that stuff, though. I definitely do. When they talk about the moon and the energies and music and vibrations and people, touch, all those things, I definitely believe in all of it. Plants respond. I believe it. Kim Painter, yes. Michelle, there's a reason why it's called sacred medicine. I love that. Wesley Pipes, high numbers suck. See, I just love hearing you say that. For reals, though, the more I continue to smoke, the older I get, is I'm like, it's weird, is I see how much people manipulate and bullshit this shit anyways. And then I see this false chase in these numbers. It's like when people bought their Instagram followers. I still think people still do that, but that's when that was like really popular, you know, it's the same thing to me. It's like if you're paying and you're putting this like result on there, but it's not an accurate result, is we really don't know the levels that you start really getting affected with the cannabis. Is like, maybe you don't need, that's the thing. It's like once you start getting weed to compound, you know, THC actually in your body is, I would like to know, you probably don't need, it's not affecting your high more. You know what I'm saying? It's just probably once you hit this limit, depending on what that limit is for you, or that little, I bet we're being misled slightly on these numbers of accurate. I think if you had choices to actually experience, like I said, even different cannabinoids in the strain and different effects that come from that, and not being hemp, but the two compounds together is what you really do want, even if you're not trying to get ripped. And I don't know. I just think the more smoking is a part of my actual life and lifestyle and every day. And so sometimes you have to go, you guys, I'm sure can relate to this. It's like you have to go and do stuff. You have to be productive. You want the flavor. There's like this enjoyable part for sure, but sometimes you don't have that much time, or you can't get to that super relaxed place. It's not the time of day or something like that. I think it would just be nice if you could actually pick up an ounce of weed that tasted incredible and it just was a realistic potency that was good. It was just good. You like the flavor. It got the job done. You could probably smoke more and get a stronger effect maybe, or just take like a little something. Oh, yes. Wesley Pipes, Bear 98 Bubba Kush cut. Just tested at 17%. That is what's up, Wesley. See, all my favorite shit like that doesn't test high. Everything that we really, really like, it doesn't test high. It's kind of, we feel embarrassed, but it's like 15%, 16%. The Skittles is around 15, 16%, 17 on a high batch. I love Golden Goat. I know I say it too much and people don't really care for it, but it's like 17% to 22 on the high end. But it has other cannabinoids in it that just like really gives me the most incredible high ever. I get that like hazy Durban-y flavor. It's nice. But the Pre-98 Bubba, that's that flavor that has nothing to do with anything I just listed off. But I love the Bubba, especially the Pre-98 Bubba. But I feel like it reminded me of the Land Before Time. Like the way it grows, even the way it tastes is, oh, it's just so good. It really is. And I think that's another one that would be great if you could wake and bake that one. I think if you were an OG smoker, I'm saying like you liked that type of side of things and you had been smoking that for a long time. Otherwise, I think if you're a person that doesn't smoke like crazy, that would be nice at the end of the day to have like a relaxed high and probably sleep a little bit better, probably be able to get your appetite going a little bit and it not be over the top. In that flavor. There's nothing like that pre-98. It's so fire, and it's getting the boot for the grow because of number. Ooh, Wesley, I love your style. The silent one, how I've missed you. Joseph Anthony, the Cool Kid Club. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. All those guys are like crushing. Let's see. I'm going down. I'm just making sure I don't miss anything before we wrap this up. Not boring at all. Oh wait. Let's go up here. Rusty nails. Separate the art from the artist. Ooh, I love that. That's deep. I do like that a lot. Rusty nails. Michelle Barnhill. Oh, Duchess. Fun because I didn't know about Adam. I saw J-Lo on Jason's show. I found him through Dutch. You really did, Michelle. Gosh, that is amazing. You guys do got to check out his channel. I can't say his name ever right, so I'm just going to call him Dutch, but you should check him out. Jason talks about him all the time on Dark Horse, and he really is just an incredible guy. And I'm so grateful, Michelle, that happened. I didn't know that. I will have to tell Dutch thank you so much for my BFF in my life now. My lady squad you're what I look forward to. Joseph Anthony, you can tell looking at Adam that while he is listening, he is just planning what to say next. Rusty nails. Yeah, that's the thing too. Sometimes I will say I will say that when you are interviewing somebody, and there's something weird about this, we have all talked about it behind the scenes of when a camera is on you, I don't know what it is psychologically, it's just a weird thing, is sometimes I would fuck up my interviews, well, still do, is because you're like, you are listening, like, you do need to, like, listen very well, but then you also do need to be ready to, like, keep the conversation going or to have a question ready. And I think that's also why I wanted to stop with that being such a thing, I guess, like, it's such a main focus as well, because it makes it hard to genuinely, I don't know what it is. It's something psyche weird shit, I think. Val Bundy, thank you for saying not boring at all. I really needed this. I like it. I just throw flower seeds in my back. Flower seeds. I love that. Boom's backyard is amazing. Kim Painter, she knows how to grow some plants. Her front yard's immaculate. There's not a blade out of place. Irrigation is interesting as fuck. Carly, Conrad, thank you so freaking much. Thank you. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it now. Because of you, Carly. Thank you. Because I really think that irrigation was an intimidating thing for me for a long time. And then I noticed that anytime I had a question, people would just treat me like I was like completely like just not smart, not just like incompetent 100% with zero potential about the subject. And so you couldn't really get help. And I remember even going to these companies and it was weird. It was weird calling them. I don't know sometimes if it is about being a little lady. I don't know. I actually don't. But I feel irrigation was a weird thing. It was a weird thing to break through. And then when I worked with Way to Grow's owner on doing this commercial business, I was like, listen, it is weird to me that these products, even these companies within themselves, Botanicare was the only one that let me actually get their trays to build these displays to show at Way to Grow's commercial spot. And they actually covered the cost of it. The other ones we actually had to purchase. Majority of the things, maybe Trollmaster did. one set. I don't know, but I did a split system actually to show if you did it with Floraflex and ran a system from the floor, or if you did it from Netafim and you ran the system from above, and wanted to show PVC because PVC and the attachments for connecting all of this equipment together seems so simple, but it can be one of the worst parts of these jobs, or why you do certain shapes and designs on the trays themselves with the water, or if you need to exhaust out your water, or if you do, or if you should run like an open flow, or if you should do a slow drip, and all the like your medium preference to that, and like the size of the plants that you're looking for. Do you want them to grow horizontal? Do you want them to grow vertical? Do you like, I'm saying with these extreme differences is, yeah, I just, there is so much to it. I'm partial to those two companies because it makes sense for a lot of the things that we're using them for compared to some of the stuff that we've all had to use in the past. Like, again, Rainbird, but I'm trying to remember the first, even Netafim had like those pink stakes that I can't remember if you attached the hose directly on top and they were just an open flow. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Or no, you would put the hose on top of the pink stake and it would do like a trickle down the stake. That's right. But it's not their nice little clean elbows that they do now. It was a slightly different design. But anyways, is how many drippers you're supposed to use per pot and like pot size and how you can, if on a budget, like what's the lowest that you could swing count wise. I just think it's something that I see where plumbers, I had to hire plumbers in the beginning. This was awful actually, is the owners wouldn't trust me. I don't blame them. Just kidding. They would be like, Jay, we'll hire a plumber to install this. And I would be like, hell yeah. And they'd be like, you just tell them what to do. And that seemed like a dream scenario. But the truth was, I realized how difficult it is for a plumber to see. It's not understand these systems, but it's different. It's different as a grower where you need these customary things, or you need shutoffs on it's awesome if you design an irrigation setup with shutoffs, and sometimes it adds an expense, let's just say even in a small space, of at least $100 more. So again, if you're on a budget, it's not a make or break of the situation and you can slowly install them after. But these are things like where I wanted to show at Way to Grow this Gucci setup where you could do it phenomenal, and how the parts actually come together and the expense that you really are looking at. Or if you needed to like make diverse systems within your setup, is like sometimes it really is good to run both systems in the same grow because you have moms on a completely different feeding regimen or size of plants or whatever. It just goes so deep. And I think that drains, nobody has drains anywhere. Water's always fucking up everything. It's always leaking everywhere. And it's like, if we could go over just some of the basics of, I just wish that somebody did it for me. And I wish that I didn't have to spend so much money on wasting parts and having to cut them back out or redo shit. Jason was with me one day, and I've done this for a long time now. And this is just hilarious. As I was setting up my room with him one day, and I was like, I just had a shit ton of plants, like a shit ton. And I was like, I don't even care to count the drippers. I was like, I'm just going to keep all these plants. And I was like, I'm just going to use all my drippers and try to get them to fit on this thing. So I fill them completely both up. And then I decide to kill like half the plants I have the next day. It's just the dumbest thing ever. So anyways, I was like, I got to pull this out. I was like, I got to do a set count. Why did I do this? And it's stuff like that still happens to me and still happens to a lot of people. It's like, if you don't cut something exactly right, like I'm saying flush for these, there's different styles even of like hoops and loops and straight lines and rectangles and circles that you can do, but there is differences in why you would approach doing those things. I do a rectangle to match my tray because I feel like OCD with some of these things as well, but honestly with my water, Netafim is really supposed to, this isn't supposed to affect it. I know this sounds weird. That's why we'll talk about it in an actual show. It's supposed to fill at equal parts. So it's supposed to drip, basically. It's a completely controlled feed. So it doesn't matter how much how much the water fills the lines, it's going to drip equally throughout, no matter what, in theory. But the thing is I've seen that theory does not work exactly. Is if I do a rectangle and it actually inserts into my tray flush, you have to buy these, once again, these little parts that are annoying. Is you're going to get elbows that like other people are going to be like, why are you spending the money on these elbows? And you're like, because it's going to fit exactly over my lip perfectly. And it's going to come back down and it's going to drop into my tray flush. And then I'm going to have these two things that are symmetrical, and I'm going to have these drip lines that aren't complete chaos and look like shit. Everything's going to have a particular spot, and the pots are going to fit in between my little track set. And it's just a working system for me. It works for me really, really well. And I feel like some people will be like, Jay, I don't want to do that. I want to do a straight line. I'm like, sweet, let's do a straight line. That's the beauty to irrigation, is you can get wild. It's like painting or something like that. Drips lines matter. Carly, thank you so much. They really do. They really, really do. Is when you try a whole bunch of fucked up drip lines and then you see how they clog, or you see, I even learned things related to powder mildew and fusarium and HLVD, like of why you shouldn't use like a top feeding system instead of something that's actually inserted into the actual medium and things. Yeah, let's do it. Yes. Joseph Anthony, is that you could tell sometimes if you put two talkers on the same show, it's going to be bad eventually. Talkers. That's so funny. Yeah, you see, you're totally right. It's the whole co-host thing. I don't know, Joseph. I would love to have a co-host. We tried, and after that, I was just like, I don't know. I know there's so many ways I can make my show way cooler, like I said. But at the same time, I just don't know if that's my goal this year. I just don't know. I'm just like totally content with my squad and my fam right here. I'm not saying the show's not going to get better as far as like cool shit, and maybe I'll talk less. But as of right now, it's what you guys are stuck with. These. So you can get some data points on what you're doing with watering. Wesley. Yes. Wesley Pipes. I do want drip in my yard. Hand watering in the summer sucks. Yes, Kelly. Is I think it would be cool even to show. Netafim makes these really cool hanging drippers for. This is why I don't know what Netafim's doing. Is for everybody that enjoys hanging basket plants or hanging anything outside, inside. They have these badass drippers that hang from your ceiling, but they're so small. It's almost like a mister kind of concept, but they're just super sick. And I think it would be cool if we made it where there was an episode. This would have to be separate, I think. Maybe not. Is where you can attach it. You know how we have to like attach stuff to strange things sometimes in the hose and irrigation world, is you'll be like, I've had to use my shower head before to water my garden, or I've had to use the sink or the kitchen sink or the backyard. It would be really nice, like you're saying, if you could just automatically turn on your little drippers feed your flowers and things without you ever having to really worry, or it could tap directly off your hose, or Rusty Nails, why are you limiting yourself? If you need weed, just yell. Wow. That's hilarious. Oh, constantly over talking to each other. Joseph Anthony, thank you. So the Adam Dunn Show is, I could not fucking do it. It's not any bash towards Adam or the show or anything, but it was like anytime I tried to fucking talk, there was just no way it was not going to come off rude, I feel like, because it's not that you were trying to be rude. It was just, I felt like it was just really hard to like listen the way that I would like to listen to people, like everybody, including everybody in that room. But there would be so much going on, or there'd be so many guests, and I know that we all get excited, and that's the thing, is it's not trying to be an asshole. I don't think anybody's ever trying to be rude or interrupt or whatever, but I just there's like too much shit when everybody has something to say. Maybe if there's like a structured way to do it, I don't know. Then that would make it lame. Thanks, Joseph Anthony, for saying that, though. Cheers, everyone. Martial Artist 2012. Gosh, that's what I'm talking about. Marshall, have you ever read the book The Artist's Way? Everybody should read this book in general, I think. If you even listen to the audio one, if you're into that stuff or you need to switch up. It's just like a refreshing book, I feel like. Just a refreshing, nice. It's good for artists, though, to get a little pep in their step. J-Lo, yo. I like that. Thank you so much. I'll do a half a dozen one-hitters in a pipe instead of packing a bowl. That's what I am talking about, Rusty Nails. I like those. This is like how not classy I am sometimes. Don't worry, I am classy somewhat. But those little cigarette, what were they? I was pretty sure it was like metal of some kind. Is those little one-hitters. They were actually my favorite to smoke weed. They still probably are. It's just the perfect amount. If you could just like have boxes of those where you could almost just throw those away, I love it. I'm proud of Fazoli too. Yeah, that really is so cool, Fazoli. You really are helping me. Keeper's Garden, hemp wrap or King Palms? See, Keeper's Garden, I got these blunts. I feel so bad because it's been so chaotic and we're like moving all this shit everywhere. And so, anyways, I put these blunts like an idiot in a box I was filing. And it's from a company that I really want to share on the show. It's actually it's not King Palms and it's not a hemp wrap actually. Maybe it's technically a hemp wrap. I don't think it is though for some reason. I have to pull them out. I really will for the next show because they were phenomenal. The owners are like some of the nicest people I've ever talked to, but they're supposed to be a good alternative as well and tobacco free. But for some reason I thought they were doing something a little bit different as far as the actual product. And the wrap itself though was so moist and so fresh even when I received them in the mail, and it's almost like Backwoods and those King Palms. It's almost like they have a King Palm style, but then there's almost a bigger kind of step up, but they're suave and they actually burn really nice. I need to learn how to properly roll it. I need to get my YouTube on. Just kidding. I wanted to have them on the show to actually show to show us their little process, and you guys would just love them. I'm sorry that I cannot think of the brand. I will find them though, because you said this, Fazoli, and Joseph is, well, we'll just talk about that another time. Oh, Kelly. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. Sorry, Kelly. I've been just rolling joints like never before, even with all my glass clean. Oh my goodness. See, if you could roll a good joint though, I would be a better joint smoker if I could roll a good joint. My J's they're not on point. I feel as my blunt goes out, gosh, embarrassing. Kelly, I would love to smoke a joint with you one day. I think it's a very nice skill to be able to be a good joint roller. And I would be smoking joints like crazy if I was you. What are you smoking on, Kelly? I think people must be in top chat. Where are these people? Oh, really? I don't know where you guys are either. Top chat causes terms. Rookie move. That's hilarious. Blue cheese. Which one? I lost mine 6 years ago. I think Barney's Farm. Damn, Carly. You're awesome. I feel like that's impressive. Icing growing boobs now. I'm in live chat like 6% of the time. Fazoli. Oh, that means a lot to me. I promise it will be a better show coming up. All of the other shows. It just sucks. The last 2 months, we've just been getting here right, like, I don't know, where I don't have a lot of prep time. And I think I have some things that I've been working on. And I think one day I'll bring on people to give you some action. Okay? If everybody's bored, I'll give you some guests. All right. Thanks. I'll look at it. She's one That got away. Rusty Nails and Carly. Can't go wrong with the Boneyard or CSI. Damn, Val Bundy. Always got the goods. Rusty Nails. I have several things going all the time. I drop seeds every month. See, Rusty Nails, that is so cool. It really, I love that you're a real grower like that. Real, almost like, you're always on the prowl. You're always finding the good. I miss those days. I really do. We still do projects. And it's just the commercial spots, we stopped for a second. I would say it's only been like 6 months. I talk about this like it's been so long. It feels like a long time. But after all this shenanigans happened, let's see. Nick, hand pink waving. Ooh. Rusty Nails. T-Star from JJ at Top Dog is a chunky little girl. Trinity crossed with Stardog. That would be a badass cross. The Trinity, I remember Adam saying something. I can't remember if he had the Trinity or if he had something to do with the Trinity. I can't remember. But I do remember growing Trinity. And I do remember trying to get it back in like 2014, 2015. And it was hard to find even then. I haven't tried to get it in a long time, but I would love to have the Trinity. And I think the Stardog with that's got to be gorgeous. I like JJ. I like JJ's stuff. I like his gear, especially if you're looking for those specific characteristics and strains. Like, yes. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. It's happening, guys. It's happening. It's tough finding you guys lately. Oh, Big Farm. Let's see. Ty Van Horn, I was thinking about you. I'm always thinking about you. But I was like, I wonder if I should message Ty. See how your week's going. I know you got your big project going on. What the hell is going on? I need an update. I'm so excited for you. Let's see. Rusty Nails. Wesley Pipes. He's super smart and I love his book, but I can only take his energy in small doses. LOL. That's funny. Let's see. Arizona Grows. You're wonderful too. I'm so glad that we finally got to squad up as well. And that, yeah. Arizona Grows. You're just a nice little sparkle to the week as well. Wesley Pipes, I don't know where his chat. Oh, wait. I just ordered some nematodes. Sorry, Arizona Grows. I just ordered some nematodes. Always trying to stay organic. Yeah, see, that's the thing, is I talk all the time about trying to stay sterile. I talk shit on nematodes. I'm going to be honest, Arizona Grows. It's come up a few times. But the truth is nematodes are phenomenal for killing root aphids and a lot of other pests. Like even the thrips, the fungus gnats, like they really do work. And I can't bash, like, if you're not introducing nematodes to like a mother plant, we don't flower them long enough typically that I think nematodes would cause you a ruckus, unless whatever. But no, I love the nematodes. I really do. If that's kind of been my go-to if you have to do something after week 3 in flower, is if you have any of those critters that I just listed going off, is nematodes will do work in like 3 days. It can get expensive if you're doing it at a commercial scale. I only say that it's not at our facility that this would be crazy, but one of the facilities I worked at was 30,000 square foot, and we had to buy $800 worth of nematodes per room. Yeah. And there was four flower rooms, and it would cost $800 for the treatment, and per one, like I said, we had to do it every Friday to keep everything. It just gets wild. But she reading from a while ago. She's never in the live chat. Oh, the candy gas terps on her are great. Sorry, Fall Dog. The candy gas terps on her are great. So now I popped some birthday cake runs from CSI Humboldt. That sounds really fucking nice. I think Canorado made the birthday cake, but don't quote me. I think you are right as well, Fall Dog. I am pretty sure though that Catarado did that too. And Kevin's another one I would love to have on the show. He seems like he stays quiet. Yeah, it's just all the guys that I like really want to have on are like, Jay, we're so busy. We're just quiet. You're killing me, Smalls. Killing me. Ty Van Horn. I'm having a new baby, so I've been busy getting things ready. Oh my gosh. Are you serious? Are you serious, Ty? You're going to be a dad? And I'm finding this out on Father's Day week? Ty Van Horn. That's amazing. Absolutely incredible. Oh, I am so excited. When are you having your baby? Do you know? Gosh, that's awesome. Jeff. Good day, y'all. Oh, Jeff, I'm sorry I let you down. I'm sorry I let you down this show. I will get better. Let's see. I'm going to scroll. Man, you guys are amazing. I was like missing out. You guys are so awesome. I am so sorry that it took me so long to get. I did not realize we had such a poppin' chat tonight. Thank you, guys. Is okay. Wouldn't it be cool if they made trays with a built-in drip system where you had to add the main line with a shutoff on? Kim Painter. Fucking yes. 400 points to you, okay? I think, seriously, I wish that I just was swimming in money so I could invest in doing exactly what you just said. Is these systems and these companies, we can't give them this masterpiece, you know? But I think it's weird that they've dabbled with it with these like DWC systems and like aquaponics system. I guess kind like not really aquaponic. I don't know. It's like some of these feeding automatic pot setups kind of dabble with the idea, but not really. No. And it would just be so incredible because even the clamps they just came out with in the recent years to hold down the actual poly that you're using is always hard to get to relax, and that's why I do the rectangle so it like squeezes and hugs like that. But my goodness, if it was actually in the tray and it actually drained and fed right and it was just it would just be magical. Especially if you had like your little waist thing under there like you're saying where you had your shut off and you Yes, and then they should make the attachments that do the easy adapters that come all with the shit for all the things that are random for a house or what you would be actually tying these things into or draining into. It's just so crazy to me. I love that, Kim Painter. Absolutely love it. Arizona Grows, you're incredible and you're so freaking nice. Thank you. Knowledge bombs. It's just really sweet. Yeah, well, buddy, I'm sorry that I was so slow on the chat. I am so sorry. I was at the very top, and I just really apologize because it took me so long to realize it. Basically the whole show. Fal Bundy, yo, what? Don't talk less. That's so nice, Fal Bundy. Thank you for being my squad, for being my fam. Ty Van Horn, seriously. Rusty Nails. I have a mechanical garden hose timers for my veggie garden. Wind it like an egg timer. Yes. See, Rusty Nails, you can understand my sloppy J-Lo languages because that's what I was trying to remember. The things, I could see where that would work great for what you're doing. I really could. I don't think you could do it with, no, you could do it probably with weed. What do you think, Rusty Nails? Do you think you could do it if you only had like one tray or something? Well, I guess it wouldn't matter, but you think you could do it for just a little simple irrigation setup for pretty inexpensive? If she talked less, we wouldn't watch. Aw, Kim Painter, Ty Van Horn, you guys. I love you guys. I really, really do. Joseph Anthony, I like the plants on a board that hang from the walls. Oh, they are so beautiful. I've always wanted to do something like that, and I never have. Have you guys ever done anything like that? It's such a beautiful, it's just like what you're saying, like what we were talking about with these like energies and just feeling good in a space. Is there something about it that just like gives you a splash of solitude? It's like, there you go. Rusty nails, regular size pipe with a smaller bowl punched in and a small hole in it. Yeah, super nice. The smaller the bowl, like you're saying, it is really nice when you can get one that's like just not super deep. I think, yeah, I like your style. I want that. 420 High Hopes, the lost art of hand rolling. It's so true. It really, I've just never, it's just weird. As I started smoking blunts, I guess I skipped the lead up to blunts. It's like I went from glass to blunts. And I don't know why. My name is like J-Lo, and some people call me Jay, you know, and it's just, I don't know why I could have never been the J girl. It would have been way cooler if I was like, let me roll you guys some J's. Was she on the treat show? And Arizona Grows. I'm not opposed to Organic Shield or neem oil. Oh my God, 30. Oh my gosh, yeah. See, the Organic Shield is, I know Jason, Dark Horse has worked with in the past, really closely with. I am not extremely familiar with their product personally. I have watched their show and I have met the gentleman and things like that, but I haven't personally actually used Organic Shield. What do you think Arizona Grows? As far as like the consistency, is it like user friendly? Did you see pretty good results? Or like, what was the insect you're working on? You don't have to say any of this if you don't want to. I'm just curious. I would like to try it. And the neem oil is just so great. It is. I think neem is hard indoors in these facilities because it builds up so much. That sounds so weird, but it builds up so much over years, you know? And if people aren't really like cleaning all the ducting and just some of these parts, neem is just like pretty heavy, but it works so good on so many things. I use Azadirachtin, Azamax. I know a lot of people are like, Azaguard's another good product. But they're very, very similar. It's just a little bit thinner of a consistency, I found. I'm grateful that you shared that. I really am. All these things really help me and other people. Is 30,000 square foot. A lot of the grows I worked at, there's this weird time from like probably 2017 and 2018 is when I was working at Rare Dankness. No. Yeah, actually, yeah. And I feel as though that one was 60,000 square foot, like we talked. It was really 58 of canopy, but then after that, it was just a weird ripple effect, though, where every grow I swear I worked at until 2020 was all, maybe 2021. Sorry, we're all 30,000 square foot. And it was quite a few, actually. It was just strange to me because there's these leaps in square footage that I've seen consistent in Colorado where it's almost like this wave of like everybody's trying to go massive and we all have about the same size grows for say 2 or 3 year chunks of increments over the last 15 years. It's just funny. And now everybody's selling their big ass grows and trying to go smaller. It's just funny how it all works. I've seen some hexagon grows. I like that, Wesley. Keeper's Garden, you're just fucking awesome. Thank you so much. Oh, J-Lo spent more knowledge than most MFers. Oh, you guys are just, I love you guys. Like I said, you just make my decade. That's why I was like, Jason, I need to do a show tonight because we got home last night from the grow, our first real official, let's just say work day of getting out some trash and shit, like we said, like, but going hard. It was an early start. We got home at like 10:30. I had to go to the other grow to water, but it was just so late. And I didn't even realize the time. I didn't even know I missed my show. And yes, it was just sad. So I want to thank you guys so much though, because I was like, I got to see my fam, even if the day isn't the right day. I know that's against all podcast rules, but yes. Oh, Big Farm, you're so awesome. I feel like all of you guys. Well, thank you for hanging out with me. I will get my shit together, okay? We will have all the things that we've talked about. The treat line, I've got some new good news with that too, but we're just going to do little phases at a time. I feel like there's just so much going on that let's just do it right. Let's just do it right in the future. Oh, just kidding. I love you guys, and I hope you have an incredible week. I will be thinking about you. I hope you are all doing well. And yeah, if you feel like liking and, commenting, subscribing, your comments, I know sometimes it'll take me a couple days to get back to you, and it's because I get excited about it. And I'm like, I'm going to see what they have to say in a couple days. And I let this like excitement build. So everybody that does comment, Laszlo and Michelle and Joffrey, that I don't know, all of you guys that I'm sorry, I just got the 2 months down. It's not that I don't know, I freaking know. But thank you guys. Peace and love, and I hope you have a beautiful week. Once again, I'm going to try to shut this up. I'm sorry that you don't get my beautiful exit song. I know that it's been really sad. For some reason, little deck is not working exactly correctly. I don't know why. What if I touch this button? This could be where it all goes awry. But I didn't try it. I didn't try this one. Nothing happened. Okay. We can't do it that way. It's okay. Peace and love.